70s, Mangena died.
Yes.
How does the death of Mangena affect his transport?
Yes. Seriously. It affected us seriously because, what can I say? I would say, Umangena in combination with JZ were actually protecting Amagorira from the civilian leadership. Umangena would not tolerate the civilian leadership interfering in the army. One typical example was at one time abadala bona laba sebephumile ZPRA thina sathi ZPRA isisukile eZimbabwe House isise FC uJangane vela kuma deployments. When he arrived at Zimbabwe House, umsika wabe emarasa steering. Mina lisitshela ukuthi kwenzakalani deployment yenu injani uvela ngaphi kwathini uJangane wazwaqina ebalekile. uJangane uthi ebalekile laphana wabe efike eFC etshela uMangena ukuthi umsika ube busy ngokuthi azi ukuthi ngivela ngaphi siyenzani. Mangena wahla uthatha iLand Rover Zimbabwe House. Fike Zimbabwe House for wathi kumsika ngifuna ukutrain. Funa ukuba ngamasotsha. Ningene emotweni kaTesi lapha ngihambise ngikambeni liye train. Kuyini elikufunayo ngamasotsha? Esisotsha lifunani. So agcine emiyali vele kungasazwanani. So uMangena was very anti civilian interfering. And the OJZ would defend him. So now Amakiwa hit us a double because but we tell JZ Mangena laye wahlala maybe a year laye wabesif. So Mangena lampana was already vulnerable. Ngoba JZ wayesefile. So kwangasela muntu waye protect uMangena. And uMangena isefile now. The civilians swarmed the army, which was the bad thing. They swarmed the army seriously. But they were the army. Meanwhile, Amasilo scouts had discovered that, or they were pushing them to that. Because why I say that one is because Amasilo scout, Isilo scout lalibaleke nkambeni. Say, for example, AFC. Angabaleke AFC. Uzakwazi njani ukuthi uJohn Nkomo uhlala la. Uyabetshela ngama scout ngama-king. But uyabaleka ngale nkambeni abuye koJohn Nkomo. Ayendlini kaJohn Nkomo. Angintsho ukuthi uJohn Nkomo but ngitsho nje endlini ye-leadership. Ayefike endlini kaJohn Nkomo. Umangena ubulala abantu. Umangena babulala abantu vele ezinkambeni lapha. Hayi. Bavoxa abantu edakeni, njani. Abantu kulama-worms khona, yikho kuvoxisa khona abantu. Benziwa so abantu bathiwani. Umdala lowana, instead yokuthi abuze ukuthi wena mfana wazi njani ukuthi ngihlala la. Kasabuzi. Semnika imali. Nathi imali yokugada mfana hamba. Silo scout lelana. Liyabuyela enkambeni purposeful. Ekwazi ukuthi efike enkambeni ngale bazambamba labana abantu ubunga. These past 2 days. Bevalele. Bemvalele laphana liwana umdala lwana evuke kuseni sesiya kuNkomo. Tana le information. Mangena ubulala abantu. Njani. Mfana lwana kuthiwa nguJohn Nyamupingidza. Sambeni semdini. Sebebuye enkambeni lapha. Funa uJohn Nyamupingidza. uJohn Nyamupingidza obvious nxa bemkhipha bazamkhipha evele ejele. Ngiyabona khangelani. Akubuza ukuthi uwazi njani ukuthi wena uhlala lapha mdala.
So there is something funny is that I mean ZPRA, so to say, I would say fun, but Mtili is the chief of staff.
Yes.
Is the next in command. Or he could do the
Yes. Yes.
Mangena dies. Doesn't take over.
No.
Why?
Because of infiltration. Infiltration is so serious. Ukuthi itype enjengeyabo Mtini, Ompoko, and so on, were Republicans of Mangena. They would not tolerate civilians interfering now. So now, to appoint them there meant ukuthi ibridge leliana selivukile. To appoint them to command structure. So that's why they went for a lukewarm guy, Masu, who was lukewarm, very soft, lukewarm, who would not be made at all. Umasuku pela even as so chain. For him to be a bit hard, it was when he had been shot as a Tuchulumun. That's when Esega Tuchulangamaki. That's when he sort of like came up with the saying Mundong Hapa a hard order. Otherwise, below there, he was lukewarm. Lukewarm, Steven.
So would you say, I mean, politics in Zimbabwe has been tribal?
Right.
Would you say there was tribalism in Zimbabwe?
No. None at all. None at all. Nothing. Instead, there was sort of like a favoritism ukuthi amashona angafili out of place. They must feel they are also part and parcel of this. But the tribalism, no. Inyamazana yayingekho. Of course, later on, it's like ZPRA was sort of Kalanga dominated in the old days. So now there was the Sutu influx which had come in. So it looked like Amakalanga are being favored. Ngoba Amakalanga had abantu abanengi phezulu, while amasutu ayengalabo. So it looked like some party tribalism, no.
There was someone like JB who was very important in the initial stages of ZPRA.
Yes.
But not so much is talked about.
Yes. Yeah. But that is normal. Because of the influence, Amasilo, people like OJT were suppressed seriously. That is because of the influence in Ama Rhodesians. The Ama Rhodesians were up in arms against anyone who was like good and forward. So they would make sure you are suppressed as much as it can happen. A typical example of that is when we came in here, the people that were supposed to go for a senior course, brigadiers, colonels, brigadiers, and so on, were supposed to be the regional commanders, front commanders, and maybe amanyama staff members, lava abanjan, amapesu. But the lowest would have been the regional command. They're supposed to have gone for that course. Now, with ZPRA, there was not even one regional command who went for that course. Instead, Maponga, who were recruits in all earnest, were sent to go and represent ZPRA against Ojiweng. You see, Langale Guzanda, of course, Guzanda, Lago, because Izanda used to have a paging. They used to page their commanders. Commander Wangwana Natala wipe out. Although they had the paging, but level Leana Abahamba, a staff college, we are going to senior course, did Yiko shiri bahamba. Labo bani labo Simondi Ampani. But ngapha ku ZPRA ngama recruits who are going there.
So there is a we talked earlier on about power the military nature of Mangena command.
Right.
Then we come to 1980 and you describe Ulukaut as Luko.
Yes.
So his character, did it affect the way you guys were integrated into the military?
Yes, it did. It did a lot. Why? Because you see, for example, when they were in Lancaster House, it was agreed from each army they are going to produce 2 generals. 1 major general, 1 lieutenant general. 1 major general, 1 lieutenant general. And from each army. ZPRA yakhipha uLookout Masuku loChavani Maseko. Izanle yakhipha uNongo loTungamirai. Former army yakhipha uShoots loMcLean. And so these were the 6 generals that were supposed to be go high command. But there was the 7th guy who was given the appointment. Who was given the appointment? It's never there. Even in whatever army, he was given ZPRA Intelligence Supreme.
Where does that come from?
From Mama Kiwin. If you ask Azetina, who have been there with the ZPRA, we say it was a mature appointment. Because he was made there not to reinforce ZPRA, but to actually destroy ZPRA. Because then ZPRA is now 3 generals in just the outside Ilokuzen. Now, if ZPRA has 3 generals, how can they be victimized now? Ama ZPRA ZMA, Babhamba ZMA, Uhamba ZMA, Umzanla, for example, Apase Ungudu. Betulega ZMA, Bapasa Venga but Bahambe joined the High Command Gonanal. I feel Gonanal, Kudo, Quidwa Sergeant, I read Guy de Kennen, Abem Kennen. Patitina, Silabo Machimin. Machimin a passe, and Ama British Adrian, Venega qualify. Ubang office. Guy I Guinea fowl. I am some I figure Guinea fowl and Gonanale. I qualify food in my education. Go to a couple. Machimin Upume and couple.
Munja command.
I couldn't go on to Vele or Abadavli impi. Aba Yiva Davulumpula on. Wapumen couple. Nobody says anything. Until he is seen by Unkom. Until he is seen by Unkom. Konapuvona Unkom, si atatama medals, our liberation, myself, our liberation. Ama commanders, those that were commanders. So we find ourselves, Mina Lai, who were the least there. He takes us in our pants. Minang major, Yeneng Kopor. Says he gonna ngale, Ungomo, Sekangela Gatizavant, Abakuna Pan. Sebona, Wabuza wantikati wena akunjele chempingini lina indaba ningalama ngenje njengabanye njengabomtiniri labanye labo mina ngathi hayi thina mdala siphansi mina ngimeja uMachimini ngikoporo wathi ukoporo sergeant kwini khona lo mina ngathi hayi ubelow sergeant wathi ngaphansi kwa sergeant ngathi ye wathi wabe bamba uMachimini wengane ngaze amkhudluza indlela la amini ingalo la kumntini wafika uthi umntini lina ligqoka amankenje uMachimini limnika khona kwini kwankweli kunika uMachimini umntini lesagagasa laphana wabebona unongo sothi uMachimini hamba la kunongo wathi kunongo wena nongo awumazi lo uMachimini unongo wathi ngiyamazi wathi manje kuyini kona okwelimpe khona kuyini kona okwelina ligqoka ubunkenjenkenje lapha kuyini kona okwelimpe khona wabuya umgabe uyathi hayi mdala hayi bazalungisa abafana yikho kwathiwa Machimini unongo uthe kuthiwa kalungise yena unongo wathi mina angila ma-powers okumenza u-officer but what I can do yikumpa u-warrant officer class 1 okwenzela ukuthi angaretire uzaba ngu-captain ngoba u-warrant officer class 1 angaretire uba ngu-captain angaba ngu-captain-ke eseritayile laphana sesizamfaka ku-army abe sepronyotwa-ke hayi anti ungaretire laphana bayakwanisa ukufaka ku-national service ungaya ku-national service-ke sesiza kupromota-ke esehamba-ke. That's why Machimini was said okasokuthiwa khona karetire ukhona ezaphiwani ubu-captain esuka khonapho kwahle kwaphelela khonapho mina ngazohlangana laye 2 years later esehleze ekhaya uMachimini engasiye-captain engasiye-warrant office ama-part 1 orders ababhalanga i-unit yakhe i-7 engineer squadron babengabhalanga bangapublishanga ama-part 1 orders so yena ihambe siyale ekhaya kalalutho ehambe ngikopora ethi uyadinga impentsheni abayiboni impentsheni yakhe.
So the thing was never fixed.
It was fixed. So mina ngayohlangana la eBulawayo eTower block yona le mina sengise 62 sengisebenzele 62 ngingisiwe we-62 entaba zidini ngahlangana la eTower block kompani emgoqweni hawu Nkosi kunjani mina phela manje mina lokho ngimuntu Nkosi kunjani athi ngiyaphila ndoda khona bana lokho kusayehlukana khona bana mina le mali yami ngikho la lokho esehlukana kwampana vele akulalutho epensions office akulalutho mina hayi man no man asambe enkambeni yami ngihamba la e62 entaba ezindini ngiyaqalisa ukufona athi mina fona pensions office bathi akulalutho njalo dinga phela wena dinga lapha ye kulokoporo Machimini ukoporo Ncube kulokoporo Ncube bathi hayi man lo wadita so lapana wathi hayi akulanto enjalo 7 engineer squadron Ncube uda ama-part 1 orders akupublishwanga lutho ama-part 1 orders akaMachimini azapublishwa e62 wangkhona declare warrant officer retirement captain njani yangikhona iphuma imali yakhe ithe iphuma imali yakhe eyobu-captain ephuma imali yakhe uSikhwili sathi sibonane lo uSikhwili lowani umoya uSikhwili wathi hayi kahambe enwanethi ngoba uLemon owayengumanager wakhona ngale wayesebhubhile uSikhwili wathi hayi wathi ngikhulume nomdala asiwe ngaphi enwanethi yikho ukuhamba kwaMachimini enwanethi even after 3 months ngiyabona ehola imali yakhe wabephupha.
So those were, I mean, I'm sure, but there are so many of them.
Machimini is one example. Now, if law ZPRA Intelligence Supreme, ngani wayebuyile nga ezoncedisa ukuthi ZPRA ikhule. Why such things? Why would such things be seen by Nkomo? Why would they be? Akuze kuyadiscover nguNkomo owayengasebenzi laye. Bona labo. Nobody reacts.
So we were just talking about the welfare, but what was the treatment of abantu ZPRA after 19?
Treatment was very. Izana has never liked the competition between us and them. You see, they have never really wanted it. That's why when I fail, and I feel headquarters, good. Quit was a generous and guy to a kennel. I've kennel. Lo, I say here to good. Banning. I'm a visit to Angel. Okufa over anyone. Banning. I'm Velaba visit to Angel. But in Apaguma ZPRA, I. Yiko Gilbert, Kumalo, Nicholas Luana, Obanivani, Bonga Banning became this OM deputy front command. We northern front. Loguzen, Nicholas in Com.
Were you guys too so?
Eh?
Were you too so?
No, we're not. We were as hard as anything. And Joe, you tell good in Milanga, Juenga, Ungenes Togisin. Ngayala. But some of us were not so hard. They went in. Abanjang about Kerim, Abanjang of Mother's Baba, Okas. Went in and Domagama, every single papers in Tat. I'm Chisela was sleeping. So, you see, it went on and on and on. I could go on and on about these people. Bona, they would find you. If they found you soft, they would hit you. If they found you hard, they would say, you, the Baba. Minamka asked, Udi, let's see, and dinner go major. Uchi wenga wabe sukume student, uchi wenga unguyo acting command. Wabe sukume student, wati ndebaya chef. Muka wabe nkabisi metan. Wabe student. Ndewa. Ukuti ndebaya, kuchoni. I don't know. Obviously, kwa kusichi kuti ndebaya, mazipra singaiti. Wa promote. Ndewa. So they left us like that. While is ngapa, we were pesulungale. That's where there was a lot of weakness. But if you think of it, Rodwell, who went in for Staff College, Rodwell is the only front guy who went in Staff College. Owing front. One. And the people I'm a British knowingly. And Rodwell was not Oguduang Ampananzala Womachimi. Rodwell come in and be a Elama form 4. So you wouldn't have failed or good be pass. Bonoma Kama be pass Lavaniva. Bisima Makene. He wouldn't have failed. Osman Besima Mama Kennel. He wouldn't have. Come
So looking back, you had this powerful army, ZPRA, which was talked about good in fighting. 1980, you were in the conventional war. You lose the war. What did go wrong?
What went wrong, Bele, is in the first place, Tina, we took it that we had one enemy, which was our biggest mistake. Tina, we had two enemies. Izanla was fighting on the Mabunu side. Tina, Gonga Gonogo, we couldn't see it. We thought Zanla was with us. Zanla was not on our side. Zanla was on the other side. That's why you find that's why you find all pipe brigade, information here pipe brigade, for example. Information here pipe brigade came about because ZPRA integration. Why Bayaluga integration is actually indirect sabotage. Somebody influenced them with integration. Yet integration was 50-50. So somebody influenced them with don't go. You see? That way we were. That's why pipe brigade was made like that. It didn't. Ngani pipe brigade ends where Jenga brigade. They couldn't have made it because they wouldn't do anything. For example, Tina Ekutu, it was 50-50. But that's Ekutu about the 50, 60 kilometers from their biggest assembly point, it's a pass. They wouldn't do anything. Because we're 50-50. Kutezi ungani kuti kuyaba nomsindo. Ngaya kusiwo wami mina ngathi siwo. Into esiyenze la, we pay our people 2-2. One Zanda, one ZPRA, one Zanda, one ZPRA everywhere. Because we fit. Lakani. That saved amagorela amaningi. Ngiyabona. Omunye kuthiwa umgabu uyabuya laphana kuze kuthiwe bekudutshulwa njani njani. Wala lo mZPRA wakhe umzana. Bathi wathi no ways. Lo hayi ngihamba la enkambeni. Because it was 50-50. So there was no ways that the Izanda would be above us.
So in this section, our ZPRA actually protected our vessel.
Umuntu wezandla protected umuntu wezipho. Because they were paired. But bese mpandawana nkona ngale etshwaleni kwathiwa asambe kurali. Ndabona. So bahamba kurali. Labana sebefika ngale wenza pasi bathi uyimtshwatsho. Lo ana wathi lo ulami. Ndabona. So there was no ways that we were overpowered. We were overpowered because we had internal influence that had influenced amaZPRA ukuthi lina lingayi kuZTN. Ngabomo. On the basis ngabomo. A clean case is Intumbane. Intumbane, for example, in nucleus Intumbane, yayivele sesana. And this Zezani, kusaliwa vele. Izandla leZPRA vele bevele kangeni bevela kulwa. They were staying together. They stayed there together for 2 years. So what could make them fight eBulawayo? Amachwangena phakathi. uDaik wakhweza 10 soldiers epower. 5 yakhangela kuZandla, 5 yakhangela kuZPRA. What did Dubulani? Fire. When they fired, inkamba zonke zaphenduka. La namhla lokhu ngabuza umZandla, kanti kuyini okwenzakala eNtumbane uzakutshela ukuthi amaZPRA yaqalisa ukudubula. UmZPRA la uthi amaZandla yaqalisa ukudubula. Ngamakhiwa phakathi. Esente. Babelele abanye bekhangelela abanye bekhangelela. Bekhangele kuZPRA labo abanye bekhangele kuZandla.
At one point you work with Udaik.
Yes.
What kind of a person?
I would say number one thing about Udaik is a racial soldier. Typical racial soldier. Very big racial soldier. But then he will cover it up. Ngokuthi is a soldier. The number one thing that I learned about him was ePara. Wayengafuna amakhiwa ePara. Because wayengafuna ukuthi angaba treata njani. How will he treat them? He will have to treat them better, which will show ukuthi something is amiss. How come? So wayengafuna amakhiwa vele ePara. Ndabona. Wayezama by all means to make sure ukuthi akula makhiwa. When a case came in, kwathiwa khona sokuphiwa izimota. Ama-majors angamasiwo amani will be given izimota. Do you know what he did? He said, "Not ePara. Abizana amabhasikili. Banikela amabhasikili. We're given bicycles."
Because he didn't want to compete.
No, he didn't want us be driving vehicles. Because of being racial, he didn't want us driving vehicles. Wanted us we were suffering as black men. So vele yena ubusotsha kala. Ngijoka one kala is isotsha. He was racial. The only thing that the people did not see in Udaik is Udaik emakhiweni babemgcotshile ku-army. They had fired him go because he had killed Mtaka McLean, Mtaka Ban, Oga Munyu Army Command. SARLI. Ute several upon SARLI lieutenant, a very academic. What are we a town? RLI. But every town, the same talk. But every say I would be the same talk, they say a good pattern, where area. I'm a platinum commanders. I am a 255. Wabe tago wabe paulo ki 255 na kwa fumtaka lokuzi. Nga makini mtaka ban umunyu army command. Bam kocha go army. Taken out of the army. Watala. Ele shungu zokubuya nga go army. Kutela pana soku 1980 la pana amakyo esebalega. Wabe sondele tuzani wabe estola sese 11. Wabe fago. Wangena 11 and the promotion ya was going on a day. Ngoba makya ihamba daily. Wakina se umecha. Kunapo waba ngiphathele umthesi we-battalion. Ndabona. Engakabi ngumeja waba ngu-company commander. We-C company. Wathi as a take over i-C company liyana wahamba wadubule intumbane. Esebenze badubulana intumbane. That one was bonus emakhiweni. You see. It was like, yes, he's one of us. Ndabona. Lakanye wajiya futhi usiwo wakhe esekushidi besithi abafuni ukwenza iZimbabwe National Army bafuna ukwenza iZimbabwe African Rifles kuthiwa ibe iZimbabwe African Rifles onongo bathe bebhala amaphepha bayenza ama-drawings usiwo lwana wathi uyafika e-army headquarters bamxotsha bahle bamfaya ukuthi it's chased from the army yikho kubaleka kwathi ayike sesiya ePara.
So, looking back, do you have any regrets?
Not where I'm regretting the most is death kaMangena. Death kaMangena really was a big blow.
Talking about death kaMangena, some people think that it was an internal job. Would you agree?
No, it wasn't. It was a lucky strike. It was a typical lucky strike. It's a very lucky strike. You see. Moreover, what had happened was, in fact, I would say internal the influence in that they had tried to kill Mangena, FC. So they had wounded him anyway. So that wound, when he was walking from Bering or Asaf, it became painful. That is what made him decide ukuthi kungcono kubuya imota ubhalabuye njengobana uThabiso utshone hamba because uThabiso watshone tutor. In the first place, what had happened there was Asaf had been made sort of like chief of staff operations, like as in commander's operations. Asaf was made operations command. In other words, GSO 1 command. Then Jones was made QSO 1 command. The admin, the Q. The other one will deal with operations. So Mangena Napana, he was due to go to Russia, a army commander's course. As a way Russian, why have two staff officers? One to deal with AQ and one to deal with the G. So Asaf was supposed to be very conversant about the operations. That's why he had gone to deploy Amasochalan. So when he had gone to deploy Amasochalan, accidentally, Babu have a keep my mind. I'm going to make you. Indlela yonke from Kabanga. baze bayofika ngaphi emfuleni sebefika emfuleni kulo mehlo oyehlayo emfuleni lapho sehlele emfuleni phela kwakuvele kwenziweni isamendi nsi kwakuvalwe ngelisame kwakwenziwa isamendi emgwaqweni phezu kwamadwala kwenziwe ngelisamendi nje laphana they took it for granted ukuthi umuntu uzafaka ngaphi imayini khona bathi ukuthi amamayini asephelile asikade nini izimota siyefika ngaphi emanzini kati ababuzanga elangeni amakhiwa bakwatula isamendi bafaka amamayini ama-controlled mines ndabona so izimota ziyana zibuya amazili vele wona asebenzisa ipetrol so izimota ziyana vele without i-safety regular army abantu babehlala lamadrum wona lawo lepetrol see so izimota ziyana zazithwele amadrum epetrol then dithenethelwa amamayini so yona le ayiphambili vele yathi yacha inkunzi yemayini baba mshwa ayidouble yathi yawa yacross umgwaqo ezinye lezi zibuya zithayelela yabona bona beku-ambusha amaqhinga so they hit them hard sebejayiwa abantu laphana uma ngena sebethumaka abantu hambanini makomrezi liyekhangela ngani ukuthi kwenzekaleni umuntu obuyayo lese nguTshangani uthunye ukuthi akayikhangela afike eJoma khonale eJoma ahlangane nomuntu ovela kusini osile laphana kusini setopha umuntu angasephenduka sesiyelusa after 3 days mangela wathi no man mina mthala uthanda ngikhambe la kanye wabe esiyangena ndaba wabe siyahamba yena uthe efika yena wafika wathi izimota zimela zami izimoto kwayenziwa ibhesi wasengena ke yena ngenyawo bahamba ngenyawo so yena wayesithi angabona umuntu olimele maybe o-serious abiza imota uthabisa abuye ngeganga eseceleni kwendlela azothatha umuntu walambuyisela njalo so imoto yatshona ithutha imini yonke ithutha ama-casualties waze wafika kubo-asaf teze befikile kubo-asaf bafika-ke balahla o-asaf agebha amagodi sibili babangcwaba teze beqedile ukungcwaba o-asaf laphana babuyele emuva bateze behamba-ke besendleleni wathi unyawo lamsela ubuhlungu it was now sort of umuntu wonke ukuthi njengoba uThabiso jona imini yonke ebuya ubhala la ekabuye ndabona lo bhala so bona sebefike sebesiyafika laphana lapho okwakuphenduka khona uThabiso befika laphana kwakuphenduka khona uThabiso imoto yakabhala yiya ephambili so uThabiso sebuya futhi ukuthi azothwala so ubhala so kufanele into enzeni abuyele emuva futhi avuleleni le imoto ukubuyela emuva khona uma ngena babevele sebegadile ndimo angena babevele sebegadile imayini yami chaya ngabe irifesele imayini yajaya imayini ngevili langemuva that's why the serious casualties were ama-bodyguards ababe ngemuva yena uma ngena wahle wakwatuka isandla ezemuntu ezenjana-ke khathesi ukhomanda kwase kufanele ukuthi kube lo muntu ole i-good sense of appreciation ukuthi kwenzakalani la manje amagorilla i-appreciation yayivele ngekho tried to carry him nxa bemthwele laphana olunyombe luyayenza i-discharge sebedubula sebemlahle phansi 3 times bemphosela phansi bemtshiya ethatha amakhafu hayi akula muntu odubulayo even from the mine yona lena yodubukayo kwakuvele kungalakhiwa
so they were more like disoriented
very disoriented plus vele i-appreciation into enjalo eBakersfield enjalo ifuna umuntu otrainwe kuhle njengabantu ababetrainwe kohima we're going to be sensible. But gorilla panicked. That's why they threw him down 3 times. But it's a pen to always start to you see.
It actually gives a clear picture of what happened because the story has not been told.
Internally, internally, FC, where they wanted to shoot him AFC. And I want to know them to AFC were hidden by NSO. They were not accounted for. I'm a Corona of them to AFC. They were taken in, catches happy, when NSO, again, service, Angola, Jani.
So you say NSO was
typical. Because the underworld with the NSO, do you know is that I say MIT, right? If you would disband MIT and say CIO takes off, what confusion I'm creating? I would like intelligence. In this case, very young echo.
So there's one thing. What was the difference? Did ZPRA have its own intelligence?
It had before NSO came in. When NSO came in, they disbanded military intelligence. They disbanded it and sent Munyani to Libya. Disbanded Wongomazinyani posted Yugoslavia. You know, all sorts of people were posted out. Then they said NSO. Now they started bringing NSO, who are civilians in this case, to come and look after the army. When we came in Labeka, just very single intelligence. NSO, which was like the army relying on CIO. And then, if you ask me, all right, AMA commanders, how would they react to such a thing? Then I tell you, no, this was purposeful. Because why would they allow such a thing to happen? They would have remained with their own intelligence.
So do you think the situation would have been different the way ZPRAs were treated after 1980 if it had its own military?
Yes.
Its own military intelligence?
Yes, very much so. Very much so, very different. Gonge logo Ogama arms cases wouldn't have come up. Because if I've got to tell you the truth, you don't tell me what when ungati ufuna ukuthi uthi ngenxa wenza umvukela ngithathe AK ngiyifaka even kona ekhaya kimi. Can I put an AK here? Why would I do that? How stupid will I be? Why would ZPRA go and put in their properties arms cases? Why would they? Oh, they wouldn't do that. But because it was NSO who were directing the operations, if you know Okasi arms, remember, why would you take the 12 AKs and put them in the cold room? How stupid are you? Each other house in the CIO, you go and put 16 AKs to the third floor. As soon as 3 rounds inside them, who are you going to fight there?
So do you think the whole issue there was infiltration?
Yes, it was infiltration. The whole thing. It was very made. That's why it coincided with the 5 Brigade finishing its training. Because it was a made thing. Nestle egg farm. Kwagulama AK lama Simnov. I learn number plates eziraji. I learn numbers. Ama rifle numbers. Arajiweyo. I vele para. Ama firing pina ngona. Ngabe ngawakipanga katesi. Akone amari para. Ama silo scout balala be strip ama firing pin empope ndiana. Ngoba they were scared. Impopole ama ZPRA singabanika i-right bayakwanisa ukuyithatha basidubule ngayo. What do we do? Let's remove ama-firing pin. So angizakwazi uthi isigole ukuthi now is late. One of my faithful soldiers, Sergeant Gola, who was a Silo Scout, who is the one wangihambisa mina iamari wangitshengisa ama-firing pin. Impompo yayikanjisegwele ne-3I egg. Impompo lena yayise-3 egg yayirajiwe ama-numbers ngoba vele ama-Silo Scout ayesithi angakhepha impompo awarapha ama-numbers so that that rifle is not traced. Those were the rifles that were ezazigqijelwe e-Nestle egg farm. So, and they were exploited. Why? Because nobody had communication with the choir. When impompo leyani isiyachiwa e-Nestle egg, yayingani ivela ngaphi? Echoir. Yethi yayingaveli echoir. So 3/4 of impompo eyayilapha yayingaveli echoir. Yayingaveli echoir, yayivele kuma-Silo Scout. Yayenziwe ngabomo. That's why it coincided. Iroli yokuqina ivela Chimpompo eKaroyi. I-5 brigade ama-Koreans next day to Hambanini. I-5 brigade to eKweru. CIO womkhiwa sathatha la thina ama-silver medals go-president. CIO lo ohamba watshela upresident ukuthi nginike i-brigade ngikuthathele ukuthi ama-ZPRA besenza wamamzikeshisa.
So he was rewarded for his
Yes. Yes, he was. That's why they had ama-Silo Scouts had a better treatment ku-army than ama-ZPRA. Why? Because they were being the army or everybody else was fulfilling in need yamakhiwo as opposed to in need Zimbabwe as such.